Welcome to the Midnight Alpha. Today, we're diving into the art of emotional control. In a world drowning in noise and burning in its own anger, mastering your emotions makes you the rarest kind of beast. A cold-blooded strategist, a figure of unshakable power. Because the truth is, anyone can throw a punch, raise their voice, or lash out. But to stay calm when the pressure's on, to stay composed when people try to rattle you, to see clearly in the heat of chaos, that's where real power lies. So today I'm going to walk you through what it means to be truly cold-blooded, to command your own mind, your own reactions, and ultimately, to rule your world. 1. Know your triggers. Let's start with the basics. The foundation of every move you make. Knowing your triggers. If you don't understand what sets you off, you're at the mercy of anyone or anything that wants to play with your emotions. Think of your mind like a machine. Triggers are the levers people pull, manipulating your reactions. They know exactly where to hit to make you explode or fold. But when you study your own mind, when you dig deep into what makes you tick, those triggers lose their power over you. Say someone calls you weak, useless, whatever. If you let those words sink in, they control you. You're no longer in charge. But if you know where that anger or frustration comes from, if you understand your own insecurities, you can see those words for what they are. Just noise. The enemy here isn't the insult, it's the reaction. Master your mind, and no one else can. 2. Cultivate ruthless indifference. This one's powerful. Indifference. Imagine walking through a storm, unaffected by the winds, unmoved by the chaos around you. When you cultivate indifference, you strip away the power people think they have over you. Someone throws insults, tries to drag you down. You don't react. You don't even flinch. Because that's exactly what they want. A reaction, a sign that you're rattled. Indifference is armor. It says, I'm not playing your game. Here's the truth. Most people waste their energy on petty battles. They'll let others dictate their emotions. But when you choose not to care, when you refuse to engage, you're invincible. Indifference isn't about apathy. It's about choosing what matters and ignoring what doesn't. Imagine how much mental energy you'd save if you stopped reacting to every small thing. Now, imagine putting that energy into your goals instead. That's power. 3. Detach from outcomes. Everyone's chained to expectations. People build their entire lives around outcomes, measuring their worth by achievements, praise, or results. But here's the thing. If you let results define you, you're already lost. Because what happens when you fall short? What happens when that outcome doesn't match your expectations? Suddenly, you're left shattered, questioning everything. The true power move is detachment. You put in the work, you give it everything, but you don't need a specific result to validate who you are. Detachment from outcomes makes you adaptable, fluid, and resilient. You're no longer a slave to success or failure. You simply move, strategize, and keep going forward. Detachment is freedom. When you stop clinging to outcomes, you operate with pure intent, unhindered by the fear of loss or the desperation for success. 4. Respond, don't react. Reactions are impulsive, thoughtless. Instant anger, immediate defensiveness, that knee-jerk reaction that blinds you. And when you react, you're not in control. You're giving power away, letting the situation or person dictate your next move. But when you learn to respond, you take back control. A response is calculated, intentional. It's rooted in power, not weakness. Think of it this way. Reacting is like a wild animal lashing out. Responding is the wolf waiting, watching, knowing the perfect moment to strike. Imagine someone tries to provoke you, tries to throw you off your game. Instead of rising to it, you pause, assess, and deliver a response that shows you're not just unaffected, you're untouchable. This is mental strength at its peak. You don't let anyone set the pace of your emotions, you set it yourself. 5. Master the power of silence. Silence speaks louder than any words ever could. It's a weapon, a tool, and most people are terrified of it. Why? Because silence forces people to confront themselves. They want you to fill the silence, to give them a reaction, to play their game. But when you stay silent, you're in control. Silence is for the strong. It's for those who don't need to explain themselves, who don't waste time defending their actions. When you remain silent, people have no choice but to respect you or fear you. And sometimes, those two are the same. So next time someone tries to pull you into their storm, don't respond. Let the silence speak. Let it hang. Let them realize that your silence is more powerful than any words they could throw at you. 6. Embrace solitude. Here's the reality. Most people can't handle being alone with their own thoughts. They're constantly searching for distractions, for something to fill the silence. But solitude isn't a curse. It's a weapon. Solitude is where you find strength, clarity, and focus. When you're alone, there's no one else to blame, no distractions to hide behind. It's just you and the raw truth of who you are. Embrace solitude, and you find out what you're truly capable of. It's not about being lonely. It's about building resilience. Because when you can stand alone, when you're unafraid of silence, you become self-sufficient. And self-sufficiency is the ultimate form of strength. When you don't rely on anyone else for validation or comfort, when you're comfortable in your own skin, you become unstoppable. Remember, true power isn't loud. It's not flashy or boastful. It's calm, collected, silent, and strong. Real strength lies in restraint, in knowing when to act and when to remain still. You're not here to play by their rules or fit into their expectations. You're here to forge your own path, to become untouchable, to master the art of emotional control in a world that's always burning. Let me tell you something that no one else will dare to say. Life is hell-bent on breaking you. It'll push you to your knees, strip away everything you thought you could rely on, and leave you clawing in the dark. And while everyone else tells you to avoid the pain, to look for comfort, to run from the chaos, I'm telling you to do the opposite. Embrace it. Because the people who rise out of the ashes, who thrive while everything else burns, those are the ones who welcome the storm. Let it mold them, sharpen them, transform them into something no one saw coming. This world will chew you up and spit you out if you let it. But when you face chaos head-on, you come back as something else entirely. Something untouchable, something unbreakable. You come back a beast. 1. Lean into the chaos. Make it your playground. Everyone else fears chaos. They're too used to the safety net, too wrapped up in their delusions of control. But you're done with that illusion. Instead of hiding from the storm, step right into it. Make the chaos your playground. It's pure, unfiltered power, just waiting for someone with the guts to wield it. Once you let go of the need for control, chaos becomes your ally. No longer are you a pawn reacting to it. You're the one taking advantage of the madness around you, bending it to your will. While others hide, you thrive. Embracing the chaos isn't surrender, it's the ultimate freedom. 2. Adapt instantly, shed the old skin. Here's a harsh truth. Those who don't adapt don't survive. Chaos isn't interested in who you used to be, in your past accomplishments, or your old ways of thinking. It demands something new, something agile, something that can morph in a second. This isn't about holding on to who you were. It's about becoming who you need to be. In the middle of the storm, every day is a new version of you. You shed your skin like armor, one layer after another, until what's left is something unbreakable, a force that can't be stopped. When you adapt, you don't just survive, you dominate. 3. Fear. Use it as your secret weapon. Most people let fear drive them to the sidelines. They see it as a weakness, as a sign that maybe they're not cut out for what's in front of them. But you understand that fear is the most potent fuel there is. Every pulse, every doubt, it sharpens you, makes you faster, hungrier, more alive. Let fear flood your veins. Let it keep you on edge, awake, dangerous. Fear is what pushes you to go further, dig deeper, climb higher than anyone else is willing to go. When everyone else is retreating, paralyzed by what they can't see, you're surging forward, using that fear to drive you like a bullet. 4. Keep quiet, move smart. Silence is power. In chaos, everyone's scrambling, shouting, losing their cool. They broadcast their every move, every intention, every fear. But you move in silence. You let them think you're standing still, that maybe you're weak or unsure. All the while, you're building, you're calculating, you're planning that next move. The loudest ones in the room aren't the most powerful, they're the most terrified. True strength lies in holding your cards close, keeping your moves hidden until the exact moment you're ready to strike. Silence isn't just power, it's the ultimate form of control. 5. Master your focus. Chaos won't distract you. Chaos will pull you in every direction, try to get you to waste your time, your energy on things that don't matter. But you've got discipline. You focus only on what you can control, only on what moves the needle forward. When the world's in free fall, your focus becomes your anchor, the thing that keeps you grounded while everyone else is spinning out. Master this, and you'll find yourself achieving the impossible, making progress in the darkest of storms. You create your own stability amidst the wreckage. And with that kind of power, there's nothing that can stop you. 6. Trust yourself above all. Become your own fortress. When chaos hits, people show their true colors, and often, it's not what you hoped. Friends, family, the so-called loyal, they disappear, they crumble, they fail you. And you realize the only person you can rely on without question is the one staring back at you in the mirror. Forge a trust in yourself so unbreakable, so solid, that you become your own fortress. No one can touch that. When you trust yourself above all else, you become untouchable. You become someone who can walk through hell and come out the other side untouched, stronger and more dangerous than ever. 7. Rise from the ashes, come back. Unstoppable. When the dust settles, when the chaos finally recedes, and you're still standing, that's when you realize what you've become. You're not the same person who walked into the storm. You're something more. Something that's been forged in the heat, the pressure, the flames. Those scars you carry, they're not wounds. They're your badges. Proof that you survived. Proof that you rose from the ashes stronger, fiercer than before. You don't just survive chaos. You thrive in it. You grow from it. You're not a survivor. You're a beast born from the wreckage. And now you're unstoppable. Here's the reality. life is going to come at you harder than you ever imagined. But if you're willing to embrace the chaos, to adapt, to face fear head on, to trust yourself in a way that can't be broken, you'll become unstoppable. No days off. Let those words sink in. Most men will hear that and laugh. They'll call it unrealistic, extreme, unnecessary. That's because they don't understand what it takes to achieve greatness. They don't know what it means to push past the limits society has set for them. But you're not most men. You wouldn't be here if you were. Deep down, you know there's more to life than what you've been taught. You're not here to blend in, to coast, to live the kind of life that's forgotten as soon as it's over. You're here to make an impact, to leave a legacy, to be remembered. And here's the brutal truth. Greatness doesn't come to those who take days off. It doesn't come to the men who only show up when it's convenient. It comes to the ones who show up every single day, no matter what. No days off isn't just a phrase. It's a mindset, a way of life. It's the understanding that every single day is an opportunity to get better, to get stronger, to get closer to the man you're meant to be. And if you waste that opportunity, you're not just cheating yourself, you're cheating your future. Why most men stay average? Let's get one thing straight. Most men will never achieve greatness. Not because they're not capable, but because they're not willing. They're not willing to put in the work when it's hard. They're not willing to show up when no one's watching. They're not willing to sacrifice comfort for progress. And that's why they stay stuck. That's why they live average lives, full of regret and what-ifs. Think about it. How many people do you know who start something and quit as soon as it gets hard? They hit the gym for a week, maybe 2, and then disappear. They start a project with big dreams, only to abandon it when the excitement fades. They talk a big game but never follow through. That's not who you are. You're here because you're tired of settling, because you're ready to rise above the noise, the excuses, the mediocrity. And let me tell you something. The grind is your way out. Every man wants the reward, but few are willing to embrace the process. But the process is where the magic happens. The grind is where you grow, where you sharpen your skills, where you build the discipline that separates the average from the exceptional. Why no days off matters. Let's talk about what no days off really means. It's not about working yourself into the ground. It's not about burning out or running on fumes. It's about showing up every day with intention. It's about doing something, anything, to move the needle forward. Even on your rest days, you're not taking a day off. You're stretching, recovering, planning your next move. You're not sitting around wasting time. You're building momentum. You see, most men treat their dreams like a hobby. They work on them when they feel like it, when it's convenient, when they're in the mood. But you treat your dreams like a mission, and missions don't take breaks. Think about the men who changed the game. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, David Goggins. These men didn't take days off because they knew what was at stake. They knew that every day was an opportunity to get ahead while their competition was sleeping. Kobe once said, "Rest at the end, not in the middle." That's the mindset you need. Rest when the mission is complete, not when you're tired. Because tired is temporary. Success is forever. The grind, what it takes to win. The grind is ugly. It's brutal. It's repetitive. And that's why most people run from it. But the grind, that's where champions are made. You see, every rep in the gym, every hour of work, every time you push through the pain, It's a brick in the foundation of your legacy. The question is, how strong is your foundation? Are you building something that will stand the test of time? Or are you letting cracks form because you couldn't stay consistent? The grind doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired, if you're busy, if you're not in the mood. It demands everything from you. And if you're not willing to give it, someone else will. Think about it. While you're making excuses, someone else is making progress. While you're taking a day off, someone else is putting in the work. And when the time comes to compete, they're going to beat you. Not because they're better, but because they showed up when you didn't. The grind is your ally, not your enemy. It's the fire that forges you into something unbreakable. And the sooner you embrace it, the sooner you'll realize that the grind isn't what's holding you back. It's what's going to set you free. No days off. The mindset of a winner. No days off isn't just about what you do. It's about who you are. It's a declaration that you refuse to be average, that you refuse to let life pass you by. Every decision you make, every action you take, is a vote for the kind of man you're becoming. Are you casting votes for strength, discipline, and progress? Or are you letting laziness and comfort dictate your future? When you adopt the no days off mindset, you stop waiting for motivation. You stop looking for inspiration. You start doing what needs to be done, no matter how you feel. Because here's the truth. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about your reasons. It cares about results. And the only way to get results is to put in the work, day after day, without fail. So here's the question. Are you ready to commit? Are you ready to wake up every single day and say, no excuses, no shortcuts, no days off? This isn't just about the grind. It's about becoming the kind of man who refuses to settle, the kind of man who shows up when others don't, the kind of man who lives with purpose, discipline, and fire. Because one day you'll look back on your life and you'll see the results of every choice you made, every moment you showed up, every time you pushed through, every time you refused to quit. It will all add up to a legacy you can be proud of. If you're ready to rise, then make this your mantra. No days. Office, subscribe to the Midnight Alpha, smash that like button, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Together, we're building a brotherhood of relentless warriors who refuse to quit. This is your life, your journey, and it starts now. No days off. Let's go. Jealousy. Society's dirty little secret. The emotion they tell you to bury, to ignore, to turn away from like it's some kind of sin. They tell you jealousy is toxic. But you know what? That's a lie. They don't want you to realize the truth. That jealousy's power. It's raw, unfiltered power. A tool, a weapon, an engine that, when harnessed, can turn a mere mortal into a beast. It's not jealousy that's weak. It's ignoring it that makes you weak. Let's set the record straight. If you feel jealous, it means there's something inside you that knows you're capable of more. That feeling is the truth shaking you to your core, showing you where you're lacking and what you're capable of. It's the beast within, clawing, demanding you step up and go after what's yours. This isn't about playing nice or being humble. This is about owning every part of you and using it to fuel the fire. Jealousy isn't your enemy. It's your ally. And tonight, it's about damn time You learned how to use it. 1. Jealousy shows you what you really want. Most people love to sit around pretending jealousy is beneath them, but that's where they miss the point. Jealousy is a compass, a blazing arrow pointing right at what you're missing. You see someone else's success, their confidence, their wealth, whatever it is, and it lights a fire under you. That fire? That's not shame. That's truth. That's your heart and soul shouting in, "This is what I want." If you're feeling that burn, that ache, it's because there's something real there. Jealousy strips away the excuses, it cuts through the crap, and it tells you exactly what you want and need. Let it drive you. Let it remind you that comfort is your enemy, that you're not here to be content. You're here to go after the life you've always wanted, and jealousy is the gut check you need to chase it down. 2. Embrace it. Don't deny it. Denial. That's the first step on the road to mediocrity. You see, the weak love to pretend jealousy doesn't exist. They tell themselves they're above it, but they're just fooling themselves. A beast? A beast looks jealousy right in the face and says, "All right, I feel it. Now what am I going to do about it?" That's the difference. While everyone else is busy hiding from the truth, you own it, harness it, let it fuel every step you take. Jealousy is only a threat if you're too afraid to handle it. So let that jealousy course through you. Don't apologize for wanting more. Don't shrink down to make others comfortable. Take that jealousy and let it sharpen you, let it make you relentless. Use it as fuel to push yourself beyond comfort, beyond mediocrity, to where you belong. 3. Jealousy pushes you to level up. Think about the people who trigger your jealousy. The ones who seem like they're living on another level. More successful, more confident, wealthier. They're not there to make you feel small. They're there to challenge you, to show you the next level you could be reaching for. Jealousy is a mirror, reflecting not only what you want, but what you could be. Most people let it break them. But you're not here to break. You're here to build. Take that feeling, let it seep into every part of your being, and use it to level up. Work harder, push further, train like it's the last chance you've got. That jealousy is a reminder that you've still got more to do, more to achieve, and the average? They don't feel this burn. The average are too busy being comfortable. But you're here to be extraordinary. 4. Jealousy exposes your weak points. Use it to strengthen yourself. Jealousy doesn't lie. It's as honest as it gets. If seeing someone else's success stings, it's because they've got something you don't. It exposes every weakness, every insecurity you've been hiding from. But here's the thing. Weakness doesn't have to stay weakness. You can turn every insecurity into strength. Jealousy is showing you exactly where you're lacking, so you can fix it, grow, evolve. So take that pain, that insecurity, and rip it apart. Do whatever it takes to strengthen those weak spots, to fill in those gaps. You know where you're vulnerable? Good. Now close those gaps until nothing and no one can shake you. Because that's how you go from average to untouchable. While everyone else hides from their flaws, you become stronger than ever. 5. Turn jealousy into pure determination. Jealousy is dark, sure, but darkness has power. Harness that energy. Let it become a fire in your veins, the kind that doesn't quit, that doesn't apologize, that doesn't settle for second best. Turn it into relentless ambition, a force that drives you beyond limits, beyond obstacles. Let jealousy make you unbreakable. When others succeed, let it push you harder, make you hungrier. While they play it safe, you turn jealousy into fuel, into the iron will that makes you unstoppable. Because that's the difference between the weak and the relentless. The weak let jealousy eat them alive. The relentless let it make them untouchable. So stop running from it. Stop pretending jealousy isn't real, isn't powerful, isn't yours to control. Because jealousy isn't some flaw or weakness. It's the spark, the fire, the power you need to break out of your comfort zone, to push beyond mediocrity, and to achieve what most people only dream about. Own it. Harness it. Let it become the fuel that propels you to the top. Leadership isn't about a title. It's not about authority. It's about impact. It's about vision. And most importantly, it's about presence. You've seen them before. The ones who walk into a room and instantly command respect. Not by yelling, not by demanding, but by simply existing. They're not just leaders. They're alpha leaders. The world doesn't need more bosses. It needs more men who lead with courage, integrity, and strength. Men who inspire. Men who don't ask for loyalty but earn it with every move they make. But becoming an alpha leader? That's not for the faint of heart. It's a path carved by discipline, guided by principles, and tested by fire. You want to lead? Then you've got to own yourself first. Because before you can command respect from others, you've got to respect yourself. From history to mythology, leaders have always been forged in the crucible of adversity. Alexander the Great didn't conquer the world because he was born into royalty. He did it because he had a vision, and he refused to stop until that vision became reality. Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon because he understood one thing. Hesitation is the death of leadership. He knew that leaders don't wait for permission, they create the path. But here's the truth most people won't tell you. Becoming an alpha leader isn't about being the loudest, the strongest, or the smartest. It's about embodying 3 unshakable rules. 3 rules that separate the sheep from the wolves. These rules aren't just words. They're principles that demand action. And if you're ready to rise, to truly lead, then listen closely. Because the world doesn't hand a power to just anyone. You have to take it. Rule 1. Command respect through action, not words. Confucius once said, "The superior man is modest in his speech but exceeds in his actions." Alpha leaders don't talk. They act. They don't seek validation. They create results. While others are busy bragging about their plans, the alpha leader is already executing them. Respect isn't given. It's earned. And the fastest way to lose it? Empty words. Think about it. The leaders you admire, the ones you aspire to be, they don't waste time explaining their worth. They show it. Every action you take, every decision you make, it's a message. A silent broadcast of who you are and what you stand for. And if your actions align with strength, competence, and integrity, respect will follow you like a shadow. Rule 2. Lead by example, not command. General George S. Patton said it best. Do not tell people how to do things. Tell them what to do, and they will surprise you with their ingenuity. True leadership isn't about barking orders or micromanaging. It's about inspiring others to rise to their potential. And the only way to do that? Be the example they aspire to follow. If you want loyalty, be loyal. If you want discipline, show discipline. If you want strength, embody strength. You can't demand from others what you're unwilling to give yourself. Think of the greats. Mahatma Gandhi led a revolution without lifting a weapon. His power didn't come from force. It came from the sheer force of his example. People followed him because he walked his talk. Ask yourself, are you someone worth following? Because leadership isn't a role, it's a responsibility, one you carry every single day. Rule 3. Embrace accountability, reject victimhood. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Alpha leaders take full accountability for their lives. They don't point fingers. They don't play the blame game. When things go wrong, and they will, they own it. Why? Because accountability is power. When you accept that every outcome, every failure, every success is on you, you gain control. Control over your decisions. Control over your destiny. Victimhood is easy. It's the language of the weak. But accountability? That's where strength lives. The alpha leader doesn't cry about the storm. He becomes the one who navigates through it. Look at Theodore Roosevelt. He could have complained about his asthma, his frail body, his challenges. Instead, he built himself into a powerhouse of physical and mental resilience. He didn't wait for life to hand him better cards. He played the hell out of the hand he was dealt. Leadership is a privilege, not a right. It's earned in the trenches, not in the spotlight. And if you think the world will hand it to you, you're living in a fantasy. Remember this: alpha leaders don't wait for approval. They don't hesitate. They don't shrink back when the weight of responsibility bears down on them. They rise. So here's the question: are you ready to rise? To command respect with your actions, lead by example, and embrace accountability? Because the world needs men who don't flinch in the face of chaos. Men who don't break when life gets heavy. Men who lead. Subscribe to the Midnight Alpha, because this is where men are made. Smash that like button, share this message, and let's create a movement of leaders who change the world. Because leadership isn't a choice, it's a calling, and it's time you answered.